Hey guys, what's going on and welcome to the Jack Nerd channel. Today's video will be focused on people who are planning to change from another MMORPG onto Final Fantasy XIV, and more especially for people who are planning to change from World of Warcraft onto Final Fantasy XIV, because there's a couple of systems in this game that the game doesn't really tell you, and if you are used to the reactiveness and combat systems of World of Warcraft, then there's a couple of things that you really should know. Also, this video will be focused on people who are planning to do a story or level skip but still want to stay up to date, still want to have a good head start, and still want to understand all of the important combat systems and just general systems in this game in order to be able to jump into endgame and not have any issues, and especially not bother other players who are already experienced, and just be able to jump into the action and do your best. So without any further ado, let's just jump straight into this video and let's see about these systems. Alright guys, just about casters, some of the basics that are different from other MMORPGs that I've been playing, especially different about WoW. And the first thing is that you can do slide casting. Slide casting is basically you can start casting, and if you move in the end, the cast will still finish. As you can see, I can even jump and it finishes. So as soon as I kind of stop there and start moving, I can still finish the cast and it will just add to my mobility. So if I need to avoid an AoE, I can still usually finish my cast, and that's absolutely great. But just make sure that you time it right and you practice it a bit, because let's say if I stop here, it's not going to finish. Stop here, it's interrupted. So you kind of need to stop here in the second half, like the last quarter, kind of right there, and you can still finish the cast. This is one thing, but the most important thing about casting in Final Fantasy XIV is that it's not as reactive as some of the other games. Let's see about healing. Let's say with Benediction. Benediction restores a target to full health. This you would use on a tank when they are in trouble, but if you try to use it, like let's say as a lay of hands in World of Warcraft, and you try to wait until the last second, then it's not going to work, because in Final Fantasy XIV, as soon as you cast a spell, it takes about half to 1 second until it actually happens. So let's see this. Let's say I'm casting Cure, it goes in, and it heals me now. You can see the difference in and now. So it takes around 1 second, maybe it's a little bit less. I'm not crazy about this, I didn't really measure how long it takes, but you can definitely see that the spells don't happen instantaneous. You can see it here. I press regen and it happened there. So it's the same with Benediction, it's the same with shields, it's the same with pretty much all of these spells. So you need to be forward thinking a little bit. You cannot wait for the very last moment to cast these spells, and also with, let's say, a knockback immunity, if you wait until the very last second, the very last moment, then you are going to fail it, because all of these spells, you press them and then it takes around half to 1 second until it actually happens. So really keep this in mind, especially if you are a healer. So the next two small things I want to show you. The first one is that you can cancel other players' ability effects, so you are not going to see all of these effects. And why is this important? As you can see it in the clip that I'm just playing under this commentary, is that if you have this on, then sometimes it can get so chaotic that you don't even really see what's happening, and you can't really avoid stuff that you need to avoid, and it just becomes a bit too much. Like you sometimes you don't even really know what's happening on your screen. So what you can do is that you can go into character configuration, you can go into control settings, you can go into character, and here in the battle effects settings you can put party and others effects, show limited or show none. I would recommend show limited, since there are effects that you still want to see. Let's say from a healer, from me, if I put down the asylum, you definitely want to see this, because if you are standing within this, then you are getting a heal over time effect. So if you have it on none, then you might not see this effect and you are missing out on it. So definitely I would recommend that you go and you put it for limited. Alright guys, so I just want to show you guys how these combos actually work, because there's quite a bit about them. So first of all, you have all of these spells, and you can see in certain spells that it has a combo action. Let's say this has a combo action of Hakaze. This means that if I use Hakaze before this skill and I use this after that, then it's going to have a combo potency of 320 instead of 100 that you can see. Also, it will give me a combo bonus of increased damage dealt by 13%, and also it's going to increase my Kanki gauge. So definitely you can see that using this skill without the combo doesn't really make any sense. So these combos are there because they will maximize your DPS, and if you don't really care about these, then your DPS is going to be much lower. Alright, so how these combos work? They are actually pretty straightforward, because for me, with the Samurai, Hakaze is always the first skill. And as soon as I press it, I can see that I can go forward with either Yimpu, Yukikaze, I'm sorry for the pronunciation of these, or Shifu. Let's not worry about all of these rest now. So these are the free spells or free skills that will play onto this combo. So as soon as I press this, if I choose to go with the Yimpu combo tree, then as soon as I press that, these are not glowing anymore, and it's Gecko, the last skill in the combo, that's going to glow. As soon as I press that, I will get one of this, and basically this combo is over. Now I can go for the next one. Now I say I go with Shifu. Now this one is the one that glows up because this is the next in the combo, and as soon as I press it, I will get one of this. And let's see the last one. It's with the Yukikaze. I'm sorry, even if you are changing enemies, it's not going to break your combo. So as soon as I press that, I get the last one, and now I can use my main ability. This is how the Samurai basically works. But here I just want to talk to you guys about combos. So what happens if I press this? I go with this combo tree, but now instead of this spell, which is the next in the combo, I press Shifu. As soon as I press this, this is not glowing anymore since I broke my combo and I cannot complete it anymore. So if you make a mistake, let's say if I want to go with Shifu and I mistakenly want to complete with Gecko, then I will press Gecko, it will use Gecko with only 100 potency without the combo action, and it's not even going to give me one of this here. So it's definitely very important that you follow your combos. But, and here's the big but, because it would be pretty boring if I'm just pressing these after one another. I'm always waiting 2 seconds for the global cooldown. It would be a pretty slow gameplay, of course. But the thing is that all of these spells, if you mess up the rotation, it will break your combo. But if you are using any of the GCD spells, then that's not going to break it. So let's take a look at that. I press Hakaze, I go with Jinpu, and let's say I use Sensei. As soon as I use it, you can see that I can still finish my combo and get all of the bonus for it. Let's say now I go with Shifu. I can finish it there, but I put in one of the Shinten and I can still finish it. So as long as I'm using my GCDs, then that's not going to break my combo, and I can produce much more DPS. So this is the absolute basic explanation of how these combos work. If you mess up your rotation and you try to go into another combo tree, it's going to just cancel out your combo and you are not going to get the combo bonus. But as long as you stay with it and you only use your GCDs and other spells and abilities, they are not going to break your combo. Also, just one last thing, there are directional skills as well, but let's not worry too much about that in the beginning. Let's see here, you can see that there is a rear combo bonus of Kanki gauge by 5, increasing Kanki gauge by 5. This only means that if I use this spell while I'm standing behind the enemy, then it's going to also give me 5 extra Kanki. And also with Kasha, you can see that it has a flank bonus. Flank bonus means that you need to stand by the side of the enemy in order to get this bonus. Also, every single DPS class will have a spell like this, which will nullify all action direction requirements. So if you use this, then you can stand wherever and still get the flank and the rear bonus. So this is the absolute basic explanation of how combos work in Final Fantasy XIV. Alright guys, so what about limit break? I'm sure that you heard about limit break, but I've been kind of struggling with this fact because I was like, well, I don't have it amongst my spells, and I had one situation when I was playing a DPS class. I started playing DPS because you pretty much only use limit break if you are a DPS, or if you are a healer and you are towards the end of the fight, you have limit break free, and your whole team is nearly dead, and then you can revive your whole team with a single press. So that's pretty sick. But usually 90% of the times it's the DPS that's using limit break. So if you are a tank or a healer, don't really worry about limit break. Limit break, as you can see it in this clip, will be usually used during the last phase of the fight when the boss is nearly dead. It's kind of like the execution. So how do you use limit break? It's actually just a spell. It's right here, and where you can find this is if you go into your character actions, you go on to, well, actually, where is it? I actually forgot about that. You go into general. I'm sorry guys, I just looked for it once, and you can find limit break here. And anyways, you can find some other very useful stuff here as well, but now we are talking about limit break. So you can find limit break here, you just pull it out to your action bar and you can use it. This is something that's pretty simple. I'm pretty sure that you guys know this, but for me, I actually didn't really know this until I started playing DPS, and I'm not playing since a very long time. So limit break, you will see an action bar just on the top of your screen during boss fights, as you can see it here. And as soon as it reaches maximum, you can use your limit break. Of course, there's LB1 and LB2 as well. I'm not going to talk about those because doesn't really matter too much right now. The main thing is that if you are a DPS, you are using it on the last phase as an execution skill if it's on maximum charge. In dungeons too, in raids and trials, as I noticed, it's going to be free. Alright guys, and that concludes our video about the main differences of Final Fantasy XIV compared to World of Warcraft. I hope that you found something useful in this video, and also if you are just on the brink of trying out Final Fantasy XIV, I can definitely recommend it because it's one of the best games I have ever played in my life. So without any further ado, thank you very much for watching this video. Please hit that like button if you found something useful here, and if there is anything else that you think that people should know about Final Fantasy XIV to learn, then just please let us know down in the comments below. And as always guys, thank you for watching this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.